Hello, and welcome back to Heightmap Hellscape, as I am choosing to call it. So no Dark Souls 2 today, again. That's becoming the norm, unfortunately. Dylan and I had every intention of... I need to mute Discord. Dylan and I had every intention of doing Dark Souls 2 today. And then last night, Dylan's computer has just fried itself. There's something going on with the motherboard. And if you know anything about computers, you know that if something is going on with the motherboard, that essentially means you are in for a full system rebuild. So right now he's dealing with that, and I'm here. We're gonna work a little bit more on this terrain that I was messing with last week. And yeah, I mean, you guys seem to enjoy this stream for whatever reason. I can't imagine why. I would have figured most people would find this sort of thing kind of boring, but I mean, that's why you don't self-censor when it comes to these things. So yeah, I worked on this a little bit more after last stream. Basically, I worked on it enough to realize that what I am doing is completely the wrong approach. To summarize, what I have been doing here is I generate noise. Let's see, where is the noise? I think that's here. Yeah, I generate some noise using Godot's neat little built-in noise type. I pass that noise to my shader down here into the already tangled up vertex pass. The shader then offsets the vertices based on the noise. And where we got hung up last time was creating the collision mesh, which is that ugly little red thing there, that isn't matching up with the actual height map. Oh yeah, happy Good Friday too. So this is in a better place than it was when I left it, because I did some more experimenting with it. There's just a whole like cavalcade of issues that trying to create this collision mesh created. And so after experimenting with it and thinking a bit more and talking to some people on Blue Sky, I came to the realization that I'm doing this completely the wrong way. Basically, there's no reason that the actual height map, making the actual visual terrain, that has to happen in the vertex shader. There's no reason to be doing that, because I'm already generating a mesh for this height map, because I have to for collision. So there's no reason that I shouldn't just use that same mesh for the height map, for the visual part. That way the collision is 100% accurate. I don't have to deal with all of these issues caused by, like, the terrain being downsized in one way, and then the height map, or the collision thing, being downsized in another way. I don't have to deal with any of that. So the plan is to tear out all of this stuff out that we did last time and replace it with logic for creating this terrain mesh, using that terrain mesh for the terrain and for the terrain's collision. And then the shader just does what shaders do best, which is it cares about lighting and texturing and materials and all that stuff. And it doesn't do any vertex displacement. So to start, we're going to remove that. And now there is no vertex displacement happening, which is what we want. I'll be honest, that's about as far as I got in my head for how we're actually going to do this. I'm terrified. Okay, actually, the script isn't too bad. I left this in a state where it would function, but I don't remember how. I think this all looks pretty cursed. I don't think it's as cursed as it got. It got pretty cursed while I was messing with it. I think for the most part here we're okay. So this is building that mesh. And what I'll need to do is then, I guess for now, just use this and figure out how to pass that mesh to the terrain itself. Where is that? The terrain right here. Just right here. I guess we don't have to worry about the subdividing this thing or anything anymore. Because I think the mesh we're going to pass it already deals with that, right? Should. So are there some questions? Oh, I forgot to. Hold on. I forgot. I need to point this at chat. To pop this. Nope, wrong button. Chat. Pop out chat. Oh, there we go. Pop out chat. All right. There's chat. Now I need to point this at chat. Yes, point at chat. Why is it? Oh, that's my dashboard. Why is it pointed at my dashboard? I don't want you guys to see my dashboard. Maybe this? There we go. Now it sees it as chat. Weird. Anyway. Chat window. And as I say every time, I really need to figure out the actual good way of doing this. Is this legible? Can you guys see? Like, is the chat legible in the a little small but not bad? Okay, it'll do for now. I say as I refuse to find a better solution. Let's put the game here. And chat is there. Why is it so small? It's... Wait, you know what? If I'm gonna have this divided out anyway on my main screen, I can just put the chat window on my main screen. I don't even have to have a window inset. See? There, chat. All right, that'll do. Actually, that makes it easier for me, easier to look over and see chat. Anyway, what were we doing? Okay, so I successfully broke the terrain, which was intentional. Now I need to get this. No, what should actually happen is... Probably the terrain should generate... Like, I should take this and put it in the... Oh, it is already in the terrain script. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, okay, so really all I have to do is take this out of here. And it doesn't like that because it doesn't have a collision shape. We'll give it a collision shape through this, through the terrain. The terrain will pass it the collision shape because the terrain is going to... Wait, is height... Uh-oh, is the... I don't see height map in here. Okay. That's a bit of a problem. Because is it a... Let's undo height map shape. It's a shape. Why can't it be a mesh? Can I type height map shape? Okay, so this... Yeah, what is this? Type just plain mesh. Okay, so the problem number one is a height map shape is not a mesh, and I don't know if I can assign it here. We have array mesh, placeholder, media box, capsule, cylinder, plane, quad, prism, sphere, text, torus, tube, ribbon, and point. Not a height map. Well, let's go to the documentation. I need a new window. Go Heightmap shape 3D. What is this? Inherits shape 3D. Which, so it does, so box shape 3D, is that one of the meshes? That's box mesh. Okay. So it's not the same thing. Oh, now you can't see chat, but so I'm gonna have to make this window the correct size also. Someone asked if I have played System Shock 2. Yeah, of course I played System Shock 2. I love System Shock 2. Terrain has been the most overwhelming part of Godot for you. Yeah, I will say for the record that, excuse me, there are already a bunch of different terrain solutions you can just use for instead of doing your own. I'm kind of just doing my own for fun, quote unquote. I just kind of wanted to see how it goes. So far, not going great. I mean, it's going okay, I guess. Okay, so right now I just need, so Godot shape 3D to mesh 3D. Let's see if anything. Can I make a shape 3D from a mesh? That's the opposite of what I need. Shape 3D. I guess I can open. No, I already have that one open. I need the mesh documentation, maybe. But it is okay. Yeah, today I'm gonna crush my balls with a rock for fun. Yeah. I don't know why this sounded like a good idea to me, but here we are. Part of the problem here is that I have exactly 0 experience with generating meshes at runtime. I have never done that before. I've generated like types of meshes, but I've never actually like built a mesh myself from an array of vertices at runtime in anything. So I don't know exactly how it works. If I have, let's see. If I have okay, let's think back here. The first data we have is this. This is where everything starts, this noise. That is an image. So if so part of the problem is that the Heightmap collision shape is really inflexible. That was part of the issue that I was encountering. So what may have to happen is I generate the Heightmap collision from this image, and then I generate the mesh from the Heightmap collision. Which, I guess that's not the worst thing in the world, because Heightmap collision should just give me... Yeah, the really stupid thing is that it has this, like, update the data from an image. It's just a really inflexible function. Like, I can't vary how... It's like 1 vertice equals 1 pixel, and that's how it has to be. Although maybe that's not the end of the world. So if I generate one of these, 1 vertice equals 1 pixel, it's always, I think it always has every face it generates is always going to have a size of 1 Godot unit. I remember correctly. I just need to have my visual terrain do the same thing. Basically, I'm beholden to this, to Heightmap Shape 3D. I need to try and make my visual like mesh generation work around this. So I guess I do want to leave it with having right now having the height map generated. What happens when I press this button right now? Just out of curiosity. Well, it's probably going to give me a bunch of errors, right? Yeah, because it doesn't have a mesh here. Let's actually give it a mesh back. So I just need to make... Wait a minute. No, I just need to make this mesh match this. And I can edit the number of subdivisions. And that's always going to be the number of points divided by 2. Okay. This builds terrain collision. Let's make a function that takes in a height map shape 3D and turns that into... Turns it into what? It would have to be a number of subdivisions, and then it's going to have to go through and take each vertex. I don't know. I think this is just going to have to be a, what is it? Placeholder mesh? I don't think placeholder mesh should be a point mesh or immediate mesh. I don't know what all of these are. Have I considered just making my entire game flat? No, that's the really stupid part about this, is that this is not even for the game I'm working on. Because the game I'm working on is an isometric game where nothing is ever above the height of 0. So, this is just, again, heavy quotes for fun. Array mesh. I'll bet it's an array mesh. Yeah, I'll bet this is an array mesh. I just really don't want to deal with building my own mesh, because I built it up in my head as being like really difficult to do. Maybe it isn't. Well, let's start looking at documentation, I guess. Array mesh. Here's a tutorial. Let's see. This looks like a whole lot of smart people things. I hate so there is like a hierarchy of like ways I like to learn things. Favorite way to learn thing is not having to read anything and just clicking stuff until it starts to make sense to me. Above that, I guess, would be reading text. My absolute least favorite way is, well, classes. My least favorite way would be going to a class and having to learn it in a class. But barring that, least favorite way is video tutorials. So I guess it is. I don't really want to read a tutorial on it because I'm not going to understand it. Let me just look at the code. This is a bad idea, by the way. If you're actually like someone who wants to actually do this correctly, skipping over all of the explanations of everything isn't the way to do it, but that's what I'm going to do here. So I need verts, UVs, normals. What are indices? That's interesting. Okay, now I'm going to look at what they are. Let's see if I can find that in the explanation where they actually teach me what they are. Index. be that. Oh, is an ad? Oh, ad break ended. I see. Has there been a violin stream? No, I have not done a violin stream. Okay, in the editor, add an array mesh. Normally adding an array mesh is not useful, but in this case it allows us to access the array mesh from code without creating one. That sounds nice. Although, it'd be a lot cleaner to create it from code. I'll just do it. I'll do it here. That would probably be... Oh, I already did it, right. That'd probably be a good thing to improve later, is have the actual script to generate the array mesh instead of me having to add one. You're so tired, you're falling asleep. Does that have anything to do with the fact that the stream is me trying to learn runtime mesh generation? Because this will be the array that we keep our information in. Okay. It holds all the arrays of data. Yes, okay, that makes sense. Godot will expect it to be of size mesh.arrayMax. What the hell is that? I don't know. Well, anyway, let's start. Or build. I'll say build terrain mesh. This may have to bring. No, we. Yes. This needs to have, because we're going to need to know what the height map is. Because we're building the height map shape. We're building first. Okay. So surface array resizes it for some reason. I don't know why we need to do that. More new job thing. Well, I'm sorry. And then create arrays for each data type you will use. I know all of these, except I don't understand why we're doing indices. Once you've filled your data arrays with your geometry, well, see, now, but how do I fill it with geometry? Mesh.add surface from arrays. Okay. You can use any primitive triangles. Okay. Well, I guess I'll just copy this in also. This is where, okay, right there is where I'm actually going to generate the stuff. So right here, yeah, right there, I'm going to have to fill these up. Actually, don't those need to, if they're packed, don't I have to initialize them with a size? I thought they were. Do you have a 3D print of any of the models you've made yourself? I do, actually. Yeah, one of my friends did, let's see. Yeah, I think I just have the one, which is, they did a 3D print of Cart Dog. And it's like a tiny little cart dog. It's really funny because the scale of the model was like really small or something. I don't know. Assign arrays to the surface mesh. Insert code here to generate mesh. Okay, well, ooh, oh dear. Here's the generating geometry. Okay, here's sample code for generating a sphere. Although the code is present, there's no okay. This is a whole lot of stuff I don't understand. As soon as they start multiplying things by pi, that's when I'm like, well, this is beyond my this is beyond my intelligence. So vertex indices start at 0. Loop over the number of rings. Okay, I see. I see how this is working. But what I want to generate is a plane with offset vertices in it, based on this height map. Oh, it doesn't like this. Oh, it's because... There. How am I liking GD script? I like it a lot, honestly, but I'm also not a very picky programmer. I've seen people who have real strong opinions about GD script, which I think it's fine. I like it. Oh, let's actually... Okay, so... Normals is vert.normalized. Okay. Triangle. What are indices? I don't know what the indices are. Script of the flesh. Yeah. Maybe I'll... You hate using the built-in IDE for script editing? How come? Okay, what if I... I'm just gonna try and make something work first here. So if we do like... What are indices? That's the only thing that's throwing me for a loop. Does that just mean does that mean like the lines connecting them? Okay. No, that doesn't happen. Help, rather. It says it's about creating triangles. I used to... Yeah, actually the switch from Unity to Godot has been, I'd say, quite easy. There are a few things that I do miss. Like, I definitely could just not know how to use it well yet, but so far my opinion is that the particle system in Godot is quite a big downgrade compared to the one in Unity. It's a lot more finicky to work with and not as versatile from what I've done with it, at least. So that's unfortunate. The physics up until this last update were pretty poor. But other than a few things like that, it's mostly been an upgrade for my purposes. Yes, for the most part, like most things that I'm doing now in Godot that I used to do in Unity, I'm like, wow, this is a lot easier. It's a lot more like targeted to my scope of development, which is, you know, I'm just one person. But yeah, so I've found it quite easy to move over for the most part. There's only a couple things where I'm like, man, I wish that was a little bit better. All right, so I know what the word indices means. Like these are a bunch of indexes, but I just don't understand what it does. Vertex indices. This row, previous row, point. So maybe let's just look. Generating mesh in Godot. Oh, there's this. What does that say? The mesh data tool. Well, there's a lot of reading here. What is geometry? It's geometry. What is a mesh? We know that. It's a mesh. What a mesh is stuff. It's multiple subarrays containing vertices, normals, UVs, etc. What's the etc.? Vertices, normals, UVs. Isn't that all you need for the mesh? I guess you need to know how the vertices connect. Maybe that's what the indices are doing. Like I said, I've never done the actual generation of a mess at runtime. Googling a question and seeing a purple. Yeah, I know I've looked at this before and then decided I didn't want to do it if I didn't have to. Oh, wait, here we go. The surface array can be indexed or non-indexed. Creating a non-indexed array is not assigning an array at the index. Okay. Meaning that when two triangles share a vertex, the vertex is duplicated in the array. Okay. Index surface array only stores vertex information for unique vertices. Also stores an array of indices which maps out how to construct the triangles from the vertex array. I see. Okay. In general, using an indexed array is faster. But it means you do have to... Okay. All right. So we know what an array mesh is. Mesh data tool sounds like something we might want. It's a resource that converts mesh data into an array of vertices, faces, and edges. Wait, no, that's the opposite of what we want. Right? Yeah, because we don't have mesh data. We were trying to make the mesh data. When you're a solo dev, your meshes are messes, to be honest. Yeah. Meshes using an OpenGL immediate mode style interface. I have no idea what that is. Surface tool might actually be what we need. Surface tool and array mesh are excellent for static geometry. Okay. Using an array mesh is slightly faster, but the API is a little more challenging. Surface tool has a few... Okay. Well, I need to know more about surface tool. Surface tool. The surface tool provides a useful interface for constructing geometry. Similar to the immediate mesh, you set each per vertex attributes. When you add a vertex, it captures the attributes. Okay. Let's see, do we have... Okay, I think they do have code examples. That's good. I like code examples, because when worse comes to worse, I can just steal them. If I'm like, I don't understand any of this, I can just take the code example. Yeah, when a link shows up that's purple, it's always like, oh no, that's a bad sign. This code creates a triangle with so it's normal, set UV. Oh gosh, I am gonna have to worry about UVs too, because my goal is to have this be well, that shouldn't be too bad, I hope. Add vertex. It's the position. Right? Is that world position or something else? I think that's world position. I hope. I hope that's world position. Because if it's not world position, I have no idea what it is. Is your goal right now to make a dynamic terrain? My goal right now is to make any sort of terrain, to be honest. You can optionally add an index array. Okay. Oh, and they just have a function we can call. Oh, that's nice. Okay. Okay, so I think I'm going to want to use a surface tool, because I can kind of understand what's going on there. And then it generates, hold on, mesh equals saint commit. So it gives me a mesh. I'll probably then just assign that mesh to this. Where is it? Not there. To this, right? Or do I have to have a new? Yeah, okay. I think then I just assign the mesh to that. Maybe. I hope. Let's get rid of all this. Because we're actually going to use a surface tool. Going to try using a surface tool, I mean. Okay, so surface tool equals surface tool.new. That makes sense. Let's start. I'll just copy it. I usually try to avoid copying code if I don't understand what it's doing, although I definitely will if it just gets to the point where I'm like, oh, whatever. But I get what this is doing. Just make the surface tool. You initialize the surface tool with... Okay, I guess I don't understand what this does exactly, but prepare attributes for vertex add. Now, wait a second, doesn't... Yeah, it has a generate normals. If you don't add custom normals yourself, you can add them using generate normals. Okay. I think we're going to do that. How about UVs? And we can generate tangents. Okay. We'll solve the UV problem later. We'll just set all the UVs at 0, 0 right now. You know what? I don't like ST. Let's name it surface. Okay. So I guess ever look through the Daikatana model / texture files? I don't think I have. That sounds like it would be interesting though. For in I don't know, 16. I'm just going to try and make something that that I can see and it works, and then we're going to go from there. So start, what was it? Add or set UV. Yeah, okay. So set the UV, and then we're skipping the normal. We're skipping setting the normal because I think I'm just going to have it do that automatically. So now we'll add the vertex. Oops. 2, 3. So we'll have X, Y, 0. Okay. You want to know something else funny? I never learned to touch type. So the way but I've spent so much time on the computer that I've learned how to type, but it's a stupid, not touch typing way, which is why I always make so many typos. Because it's just muscle memory, but it's not like the touch type thing where you're supposed to know exactly where each key is. So then if I'm on a keyboard that's slightly different, it completely screws me up. Okay, so we need to do a index and generate normals, I think. So index, should I generate normals first? Wait, it said something about this. Which should be called after generating geometry and before committing the mesh. Calling generate normals true will flip the resulting normals. We don't want that. It only works if it's the primitive is triangles. Okay, that's fine. I think this should be first, right? I feel like that should be first. Heightmap Harry brought you here. You can't say no to Heightmap Harry. That's for sure. Okay, generate and then... I'm getting a pounding headache from Heightmap Harry. And then what is it? Just commit. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I need to set any flags or anything. Now here's the part that might break. This is on so mesh equals mesh result. Okay, I've saved. This is never called anywhere. Wait a sec. I need to call this. I mean, honestly, I'll just call it in here for now. Can I set? I'll just call it in here. And I'll already we're not doing anything with the height map yet, but I'll just pass it in anyway, because we will do something with it eventually. Water. No, I don't have to press play after. Okay, let's see what happens. Doop. Never generated a mesh through code. Isn't this how you'd make something like that hole digging game? I have no idea, to be honest. All right, we got some errors. Let's see. Oh, that's weird. Invalid assignment of property or key size. Oh, I wonder if this is an issue from old code. Where's that? 20? Oh, right. It's just this stuff. We should. I think we can just get rid of these, because that was about generating the mesh. Yeah, okay, that should be okay now. Let's try it again. Wah! Make it stop! Oh no! Nope. Oh, project, reload. Oh wait, no, I need to know what that error is if I'm gonna fix it. Oops, okay, well let's do it again. Vertex amount must be a multiple of the amount of vertices required. Amount must be a multiple of the amount of vertices required by the render primitive. Oh. Okay. I guess that makes sense. So it needs to be a multiple of 3 rather than 2. Only done something like this with an additional terrain plugin that I don't think there's a good reason for me to be doing this myself. Since, I mean, what is that one called? Terrain 3D, I think, and it just reached 1.0. Like, there are many different solutions other people have done for this, but every once in a while there'll be something where I'm like, I want to make my own version of that, with blackjack and hookers. In fact, forget the blackjack and forget the hookers. Oh, wait, no, that's not it. It's... never mind. I forget the exact quote. It's a Bender quote from Futurama. Knowledge is always a worthwhile reason. Yeah, that's true. That is true, but if you build everything yourself for the sake of knowledge, then you're also going to end up not having as much time to actually make a game out of it. So it's a balance. Yeah, forget the theme park and forget the blackjack. That's what it is. Yeah. Okay, so we need this to be a multiple of 3. Does it really matter what multiple of 3? I guess 30 is easy. Let's do 30. Nope, not play. Bloop. Hey, it did something. It made a mesh that you can't see. But that's something. I do commit it, yeah. You can finish the game when you're 70. Yeah, true. Let's generate it again. Yeah, it generates what does this do? Nothing. It definitely generates something. But it is not something that I can see. Let's look over their code again. Sorry, I'm just thinking. It could have to do with, not that, that. It could have to do with the order I'm doing this. Maybe I do need to generate normals first. And then index. Oh, wait. It did something. Did it do this before and I just didn't see it? Okay, so it has there's something. And I see like little weird flecks. Like maybe that's something else. I keep seeing like little pixels appear. Yeah, big quad seems to be what it has generated. Why isn't it visible? It's a bit odd. I guess maybe because it doesn't have a... Let's give it a material. Nah, nothing's showing up. Yeah, I see like little pixels appearing there. I don't know if you can see that on stream or not. Which I don't think happens anywhere else. It's just within that quad. Why did Twitch censor monkey? No, it was censoring hooker. Could it have to do with the UV? I could try passing in X and Y as UV coordinates. Just see what happens. Nothing different. Add index does not need to be called before add vertex. Okay. Oh, maybe I need to generate tangents also? Yeah, it is. It's weird that there's like random pixels in there. You would think it would have to do with alpha or something, but apparently not. It does have a material override here. No, getting rid of that doesn't do anything. Skeleton. No, that's for like bones. Funky normals. Yeah, that could be the case. What if I don't generate these? Oh, the pixels went away. I think at least. Yeah, I think the pixels went away. Might be the outline. Yeah, maybe. Yep, I still see them. So what happens if I do x divided by 10? Let's make that an int, not a float. Does that change? That should change the size of this. And it does. Okay. Nice. So I at least understand what's going on there. What happens if we make it huge? Wonder if the pixels, if the pixels will get huge if we make it huge. No? Oh yeah, it's huge. Okay. No, the pixels didn't seem to get any bigger. I think adding the vertices is working fine. I think the UV doesn't have anything to do with it. So it must have... What if I don't index it? No good. What if... What if I take their code in? Oops. Oh, right, because it's surface. What do you mean unexpected identifier surface? What's the problem here? Oh, that's the problem. Let's get rid of... No. Don't get rid of those. What am I doing? That was the wrong command. Do that. Do this. Yeah, intended behavior is just creating a plane, basically. So theirs did affect it, but they didn't make it visible either. Oh, could it be this? Surface material? No, that's... Here, let's just see. No. We do have a material override there. That's... If automatic alpha is... It shouldn't be because it's using this material. Yeah, that's terrain mat. I could try giving it a different material. No. No, it's got to be a problem in how I've built it. I'll have an index again. Let's see. I do generate tangents. Do I do it in the right order? Yes. I still feel like maybe this should be done before this. Not that it helps anything, but you know. All right, let's Google. Not working. That doesn't help. Wait a sec. What if we make z x just so z isn't normal, isn't 0? Builds a sort of half. It builds a bit of a box thing, huh? Not shader editor. We could try flipping the normals. Nope, no good. One thing worth noting is that I believe this cube is just the bounds. I don't think that's the actual object geometry. Yeah, I don't know. I'm confused about this. This post has been deleted. Thank you. UVs are specified between 0 and 1. Okay, I know that. I could... That wasn't what I intended to minimize at all. It could have something to do with the UV. I don't know. Anyone have any clever ideas what's going on? Did I look to see if there's any errors? I don't think there are any errors. Nope. Got it to display if you rotated it. So maybe the problem is that I'm... All right, what happens if I run the game? Nothing. Lots of oh, right, because I didn't give the player any input. No, that's not. Okay, I don't think that's relevant to me. Mesh built with surface tool not rendering. This may be the problem then. What if it is a... Is the bound generating facing the Z? I'm not sure. Now I'm worried it's a bug. I had a thought. No, never mind. I was wondering if I need to create a new mesh instance 3D at it, but I don't think so. I could try using the different way of building default calculated on a per face basis. When finished generating your geometry, call commit to finish generating it. It results in an array mesh. Yeah, it says, okay, that is an array mesh. Try to set the normals to... Well, the thing is... Yeah, I mean, maybe I will try that instead of... Oh, I should get rid of this. Don't want it. Maybe I should try that instead of generating the normals. What is the syntax for that? Set normal. I'll try just stealing theirs. Although their code didn't seem to work either. No, no good. As someone who only game devs in the second dimension, this stream is terrifying me. Yeah, it's not, honestly, using 3D isn't. Ooh, what do we have here? ST not declared in the current scope. Oh. Let's try reloading the project. Just because I know at other times that sometimes caused some problems. Nope, still not working. Yeah, I'm concerned about this. Let's just see what their code looks like. Oh, maybe I should like maybe I should do this. Or yeah, oops. Hold on. That's what I meant. Nope, no good. Should have learned from normal map Norman that this was a bad idea. Yeah. Normal maps also scare me. Mesh material. I could try also loading the material in. Add child. Mesh. Although, I mean, this is an array mesh, though. This isn't a CSG mesh. Should I try to make it do a... If an array mesh is passed, then it then appends a new surface to the end of the array mesh. Well, right, okay. Does Surface Tool automatically create the tries from the vertices given? I believe so, yeah. Yeah, I like Godot a lot so far. What's this? Hold on, what is that? What is this? Did it create that? No, it didn't. Yeah, what is that? I don't know what that is. That's all collision. Oh, hey, I'm not seeing any pixels anymore. I don't know if that's progress or not. Oh, there we go. Now I'm seeing them. Okay. We're going to have to move on here somehow. Okay, that has to do with CSG meshes. Let's commit to arrays. This is the actual API or the actual like documentation for it. Maybe there'll be something in here. Could it be that? Be the nope, doesn't seem like it. That gets rebuilt. Maybe, well, wait, it gets rebuilt. Yeah, let's get rid of this because this should generate the normals. Maybe it is the AAB. Create from. Oh, that just creates it from an existing mesh. Okay. How's Godot going? Well, I just can't quite figure out how to get this surface tool to work for some reason. Okay, renders array as triangles. Every 3 vertices, a triangle is created. Okay. That might be useful. That might explain it, maybe? Let's get rid of this. Let's just try and make a single triangle. Because it might be that since it's generating, it might be that it's basically generating a bunch of like infinitely thin lines because it keeps trying to make a triangle out of 3 vertices that are all kind of in an. You are calling surface index inside the loop after you. am I? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Because this is outside the for loop. What's the problem here? Oh, because okay, so let's just try manually making a triangle. Okay, how would this work? 0, 0. Or actually, let's start with the tip. Tip would be that. And then that. And then that, I think. All right, what happens now? Hey, progress. That is not the shape I thought it was going to be. Okay, that's some positive progress. We now have, I can make something that's actually visible. Y of 1, and then a y of 0, and x of... Oh, I see why. Do that. That should do it. There we go. Okay. Okay, that's good. That's good progress. It does mean that generating this procedurally might be a little more difficult than I thought. Because the primitives are triangles. We have achieved try. Yeah. So how do I generate a bunch of triangles that are all going to correspond? Huh. What was the thing I couldn't use for... There's... Oh, here we go. The normals. Generate normals only works if the primitive type is mesh.primitive triangles. Okay. The problem, I'm just trying to visualize now, how am I going to figure out a triangle for every point? Man. Yeah, I don't know. Well, they're always going to be, each cell needs 2 tries. Yeah, each cell is going to need 2 of them. So like if we envision like a corner. Now wait a minute. I don't need to figure out how to build the triangle. I just need to make sure that each vertex is added in an order where each of them will make a triangle. So what would that be? So like if we start out in the corner, the first one is going to have to be the top left. Well, okay, what if it is, let's bring this back. get rid of these. We know now that it works. I just need to. So this is going to go through and yeah, how do I get these into the array in the correct order? Okay, so the fact that each cell needs 2 tries, I wonder if that actually does help me. That might actually help me. Because if, here, do I still have paint on here? Let me draw this, try to draw this out. So, I'm a terrible artist. So this is what each face of the terrain is going to look like, is going to be made up of. Each will be 2 triangles. So if we're going through the array, let's see. So this one would have to be, the order would have to be this, this, and this, or this, this, and this. And then the second one, so that's like 1, 0, 2, 0, or 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, or 1, 1, 0, 0, 1. And then this next, and then we'd get here, and this would be 1, 0 again, 0, 1, 1, 1. So does that help? 0, 0, 1, 0. This is 0, 1, and 1, 1. So to put these in the correct order, it's add 1, or wait, this could be add 1. Let's see. 0. So it's like this point. This point is, so x plus 1. This is just 0, 0. This is x plus 1. This is y plus 1. Then we get here. And then we have to do the opposite, I guess. Man, this seems like it should be such a simple task. But I'm not. Let's see. Define the top left try and then the bottom left and use the normal generation after that's finished. Yeah, I just need to figure out the way to do that with, you know, a loop. Or maybe it doesn't have to be a loop, actually. I think it should be a loop, though, but it doesn't. Okay, so first of all, let's stop thinking about it as a 2-dimensional loop. For t and 30. Because it's actually, the loop itself should just be 1 dimension. This would be 30 triangles. And then each time through here, it will have to add, what would this be? T 0. So we'll add 1 at t. We'll add 1 at t plus 1, not 0. Maybe it does have to be a 2-dimensional array. Oh, this hurts. Or not array, 2-dimensional loop. Okay, let's bring the 2-dimensional loop back. So, for each one through, we need 1 at 0, which was x and y. We need 1 at x plus 1. Nope, wrong thing. Wrong thing. X plus 1, y. And we need 1 at... What was it? It's x plus 1, x, y plus 1. There's our first triangle. We sure are breaking the brain with this one. I'm not good at this sort of thing. I'm sure someone who's smarter than me would be able to figure this out a lot faster. But so there's our first triangle, and then the second one would be this is going to generate. We really should have each one just do one triangle. Which, no, that wouldn't work out. Maybe indexing will take care of it, though? Or take care of duplicate? Maybe? Well, the next one... Okay, what is the next one? X plus 1. Wow, this... Yeah. So the next one would be x plus 1, y 0, which is the same as this. And then... No, sorry, that's not right. The next one would start out... Yeah, no, that is right. X plus 1, just that. Y plus 1, which, again, that's another same vertice that we've defined. Yeah, maybe that's okay, though. Maybe the indexing will take... And this is just x plus 1, y plus 1. So... And then it's gonna... Okay, let's just see what this does. Badoop. Well, we did something. Almost there. I think, at least. Yeah, let's see what the wireframe looks like, though. Not bad. Yeah, okay. No, that seems about right. I wonder if the normals are the problem. Display overdrive. No. Display unshaded. The top left corner with the trim. No, that was just lighting. That was just some lighting weirdness. Which will be a whole other can of worms. Let's check the code and make sure I didn't do something really stupid. We're so close to generating a very expensive quad. Yeah, there's a point, though. There's a point to the expensive quad. Maybe that isn't lighting weirdness. What is... Oh, okay, this is correct. It's just the normals are flipped around on half of these. Maybe we should index it after generating the normals. Nope. Because if you look at this top left corner, see the triangle is in the right here, but then if we flip around, it's right here. So half of the triangles have the wrong normals. So maybe I do need to manually do the normals. Well, right now the normals should be all... It should be all the same. They're all going to have the same normal. Right now. Later on it's more complicated. But yeah, they're all going to have the same normal because it's just a plane. Oh, where'd they do that? That was before UV. Okay. We'll just see if this makes any difference. Is it the order you're adding the vertices? It could be. Yeah, I mean, it definitely could be. Okay, no, that didn't help. It creates the same problem. So let's get rid of that. What happens if I don't generate the normals? Oh, wait, I am getting an error. Okay. I think that's because I didn't generate the normals. Let's go back to doing them. Yeah. Yeah, it probably does have to do with the order in which I'm adding vertices. What if I actually... Here, I'll just cut these and see what happens. Yeah, so now it doesn't generate any back there. The side depends on the order in which you define the vertices. Why would that be? Wait, okay, so only... Here, okay, what if we cut this out? Not quite progress. It didn't quite work. Swap the last two... you think? Ah! Yep, you were right. Nice. Okay, see ya, B-Frog. We just got a plane to... Yeah, we've created a very expensive quad. Woo! Very expensive quad. Let's go. Okay. Next step is to get the... yeah, I'm glad you got to see that right before you go. So the next step is to get it to be flat. So we're just going to switch around, like, going to make this Z instead of Y. So this should get it to lie flat. And I could also just move Y over. I'd prefer to try and keep it clean-ish. That, and then that, and okay, so in theory, this should now generate it lying flat like that. Okay, good. Good, that's what we need. So we're making some progress here. Now, I don't think this will be too... I don't think this will be too crazy. Because, we just need to first have the size of... Where to go? Have the size of that dependent on the size of the generated height map. Basically, now we need to bring in the height map shape, which, let's see. Let's look at the documentation for the height map shape. So it has map data. Here we go. Which returned array. Okay, whatever. What is this? Why is it 4-dimensional? That's weird. Because it's a height map. Why would it need to be... Most maps have 4. Oh, I wonder if it's 4 because it's just it's converted directly from an image. So it's like the RGB alpha, maybe? Yeah, you just said it. RGBA. Okay, that makes sense. So, I mean, it's going to be, the height map is going to be grayscale. So I really only need to read R. And that'll give me that should give me the height, right? So first of all, width equals no, okay, all right, no, let's see, map. This array size must be equal to map width. Oh, here we go. Map depth and map depth and map width. There we go. Okay. Map equals height map dot map. They call it depth for some reason. Take this, do this and that, and now equals oh, no, it needs... No, I can do this. Oh, I need to do this, don't I? Okay, well, let's see. Oh, this is going to be... It's going to be a little messy. Bro is height mapping. I hope. My goal is to have, I don't know, something to show by the end of the stream. All right, let's see what horrors this creates. That built some horrors, all right. Oh, I'm an idiot. I know why. Because we don't want it to do that. We want this to be the height offset, or the vertical offset. Right? Oh, but it needs to... Oh, this is... Actually... Yeah, making QR codes. Oh, this is a little messy. Because this will be the vertical offset. But these are each going to need to... What's funny is your current logic works in some game engines, but not Godot. Flipping around Y and Z willy-nilly. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Oh, this is so gross. This is so gross, but it's at least it's a bit of a fast way to get this working, I guess. Will this generate terrain with overhangs / cliffs / caves? No, not currently. There is basically zero reason for me to be making this. Other than it's not going to be any better than the already available solutions. I'll have learned stuff though. Like it's forcing me to learn how to generate, you know, a mesh at runtime, which is useful for all sorts of different things. All right, let's see. Whoops. Okay. Maybe -1. Wait, is that? Yeah, that's correct. Okay, that did nothing. Just still flat. Let's reload. Try again. Yep, still flat. Y is flat. First, oh, actually, this is going to need to be, or no, never mind. Vert offset. Oh, it's flat because I never actually use vert. This is such a nasty way to do this. I think I'm going to have to, I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head what the prettier way to do that would be. Hey, okay, progress. It's not completely right, but it is progress. Let's see here. First of all, I want this to have this terrain mat. Why is shader not working? Oh, right, the UVs are all borked up. It's a whole other problem to try and solve. Although, I feel like it should be at least... Oh, right, none of this logic is happening. Oh, this is. Oh, it's because the height map isn't assigned. And the main texture isn't assigned. Just use that. Okay, it still doesn't really work because... probably because the UVs are all borked up, because they're all set at 0. Did you ever beat DS2? Not yet! If you use Voronoi maps instead. I don't know what that is. Here, let's give it something a little more recognizable. Yeah. All the UVs are screwed up. This is going to have to be like... Oh, it's going to be... That's going to be gross also, because it's going to have to be... The UV is going to have to be like... Is there anything they have for doing your own... For just auto-generating UVs? Just... Yeah, I don't think so. Okay. Voronoi maps. What are Voronoi maps? Okay. I'm gonna make func vert. Okay, so I'm first going to clean this up a little bit, because this is getting out of control. So I'm just going to create a function to do this. Or wait. Let's see. Hold on. Standalone lamp. What did I do? What did I do? Standalone lambdas cannot... Is it the name? No. Oh. No? What is the problem here? Ah! I see. It's the indents. What information does this actually need? Oh, it needs X, Y, and Z. X, Z. maybe that. Oops, Z. Surface is not... right. I'll need to pass it the surface also, won't I? Yeah, I guess I can just pass it surface also. Yeah, let's make these a little easier to read. Surface, what is that? Surface tool, surface tool. Okay, so that'll give us a UV, and I'll add the vertex. So now, I'm gonna try and replace all of these with one function call. And it'll make it just a little bit cleaner. There we go. Watch this break everything. So basically frog, what's frog spawn? Wait a second. Yeah, vert offset is calculated. Okay. And that will be z+1. Oh, which one was that? That's x+1 again. This is both +1. And then just z+1. We don't need vert offset anymore. All right, does this work? It sure does. All right. All right, can't believe that worked. Now we just got to figure out, I think there's some minor math errors going on. First of all, let's make this let's just make a new noise texture for the main texture to make it nice and visible. There we go. It's a bit better. What is going on with those? Oh, I think that's... Yeah, that's that. Okay, let's just get rid of that. We don't need the vertex color doing anything right now. Okay. Now what? Got that. Okay, so the first problem. Wonder if it has to do with the height map generation. This should just be taking in the height map and making something that is exactly like it, but it is not. And that could be because this order is wrong. Let's see if that does anything. Nope. No, why would the order matter? Multiplication order doesn't matter. Derp. Might be because this order is wrong, perhaps? No. Because I feel like it's just like this. This looks like it's functionally just kind of random. So I assume the vertical offset I'm getting is not correct. Which, let's actually move that down here. Wait a sec. Map data dot R. Wouldn't that be? Whoops. Maybe? Guess we'll try that. Nope. Doesn't. Woo, it really doesn't like that. Okay, that's just returning a float. I thought that was a vector 4. Where is that? Here we go. Z times, you need the width of the map as well. Am I not doing it? That's the UVs. So the vert offset is that. Let's just change that order around. I'm using the width of the map, aren't I? Z times width plus X. Wait. You're right. Yeah, you're right. I'm doing this wrong. Let's see what that does. Yep, that was the problem. And now I just need to. So the. Oops. Ah! Here we go. I don't need that up right now. Let's try this to see if that looks like. Is that more the right orientation? I think it is. Yeah, I think that is the correct. So now it's just this offset that's the problem. And for that, I'm really just going to have to offset things in here by half the width and half the height, right? Or, yeah. Minus equals. Or would it be minus equals or plus equals? Let's just try. Let's try this. Depth. I keep doing Y because I'm so used to it being X and Y. Ooh, it no like that. Ah, no, that's okay. That's not. It's not what we need. We need that to be because it's trying to access a point in the array that doesn't exist. Let's try that. Okay, it needs to be minus. Or not quite. Oh, divided by 2. Hey, there we go. Hey, it works. Woo! We have hills with actual collision. Presumably. So I'm gonna have to go. Let's get rid of all this crap here. Certified Heightmap Harry moment. Yes, it sure is. So let's give the player some controls. What do I need here? Left, right, forward, backward, run, jump, crouch. Okay. Let's give them some controls and try walking around. What am I doing? How Valve does terrain geometry. There's no... What is this? Oh, I see. So they, yeah, I see. So it's subdivided up into, what is that? 2, 4, 6. It's subdivided up into 8 triangles. Huh. What was I doing? Left. Okay. Oh, do I need run also? I think I needed a run. Okay, let's just try that. The player is not at the right place. Okay. Oh yeah, the player's all the way over there. Interesting that that's double-sided. Is that the terrain shader? Did I make the terrain shader double-sided? Oh, yeah, because the cull is disabled. Why is cull disabled? That's weird. Yeah, there we go. Got a little terrain we can run around on. This will be Sonic in 2025. It's a little too steep, but okay. White Hill Zone, yes. All right, that's some good progress there. Now, scale needs to. I need to figure out scale. height max. So will this work? Will all this just work if I... Wow, yeah, it seems like it'll just work. Texel size may not work. Maybe it will. It's doing the opposite of what I figured it would do. I'll have to look into that. Yeah, why is it doing the opposite? Is each one of these now... Yeah, that makes it a texel size of 1. All right, that's correct. Kind of. How big is the height map? Oh, it's 512 by 512. Okay. All right, that works. It's just that the texel size is... Oh, wait, no, that does make sense. That does make sense. I think all I need to add is it's going to need to... yeah, it makes sense that the larger the texel size is, the smaller this is getting, because it currently does not scale it by the texel size. I need to add that. Probably after building everything. So that would be... yeah, I think we'll just edit the literal transform scale. Question is, do we need to do it for height also? I think we're just going to need to do it for width and depth. So that would be... It would just scale by the texel size, wouldn't it? Like, the scale is just going to equal the texel size. I think, at least. Let's find out. Yeah, because if this is 1, it should be smaller. It is not smaller, though. Or no, it shouldn't be smaller. It should always be the same size. Right, because I'm just changing texel size. I'm seeing some situations here where... Yeah, so there is a bit of an issue where sometimes... the collision is offset I think there's probably somewhere in here that maybe here that it needs to be here. Let's take this. This may need to be -1. Because it's -1 there. Yeah, you come back and it's kind of working. I mean, it is working. There's just still some stuff to get through. So I suspect I may have to subtract 1 from each of these. Did that help? No, actually. No, that did not help. Yeah, so there is a offset that happens there that isn't great. But it's only at certain texel sizes. Is it when it's an odd number? No, it's fine at 5. Fine at 6 also. And it's fine at 8. I wonder... Let's try 14. Fine at 14. Is it just 2 that it's not fine at? Or what was it, 3? It's not fine at 3. And I'm sure that has to do with somewhere in here where... Yeah, I don't know. Figure that out at some point. Tiling plus so tiling and resolution can be scaled together. That's, yeah, maybe. That's definitely possible. Oh no, that's a problem too. Yeah, it's always offset by 1. Or it's offset by half a texel size. Oh! Is this... Wait a sec. Is it doing integer division? No? We'll fix it at 13. No. No. Okay, so at a certain point it starts definitely being a problem. Oh, now it won't fix it all now. Oh, now now it's just always like that. Interesting. Oops. Is it this? Nope. No, that's just generating the height map. No, it's got to be in the mesh generation where things are getting messed up. Get rid of this. Does that help? No, and of course it errors. That's expected. Let's reload the project. Yeah, if it always occurs, then it's easier to find out what's wrong. Although it wasn't always occurring till what? Till I changed this to float. Maybe that's why. No. Or not +1, -1. Let's reload the project again. Just in case 1.0 instead of 1. That's a good point. Interestingly, no, I think because now it's not matching the thing. There we go. This at least matches it. It's just offset. Oh, maybe it's the... Yeah, maybe it is this. Do we need to add back in... Yeah, it might be something going wrong in that offset. And it's always what? Is it always half a texel off? I think it is. Yeah, it's half a texel. Let's try this. Did that solve it? I think that might have solved it. Yeah, I think that might have done it. If I were to use this, it would probably be more like, yeah, like this size. Or not size, more like this resolution. Okay, I think that solved. I think it just works now. I think so, at least. Let's like make the terrain size this like 7. Make it noisier. I thought I heard somebody. So that's not quite right. So no, there is still something a little funky here. Yeah, there's still something a little funky, I believe. Ads triggered right when I solved it. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, there's still something a little bit off here. Ooh, you can really see there that something's a little bit off. Is it because this keeps getting downsized? Oh, I wonder if, yeah, I wonder if this keeps getting downsized. Like, that looks a little bit more like I'd expect. Yeah, I think there's. Let's make this 12. Yeah, I think downsizing the image is causing some problems. You can't tell if I'm short or if the hitbox for terrain. It's just because I'm short. It's because the scale is all messed up right now. try that. Basically, I'm trying to make sure that it's not actually changing the height map image, which I kind of feel like it is here. Yeah, you can really see here how it's yeah, so there's the problem I'm having right now is just that it seems to, when it resizes the image, that seems to be a destructive operation. It says a new image is created each time. Well, one thing I could do, I could get rid of the part where this is trying to resize the image based on the terrain size, and I could just say that like the image size is going to determine the terrain size, if that makes sense, so that the image isn't getting touched. Yeah, this should be returning a copy, though. I'm not sure why it's... You think everything should work off the image? Yeah, that might be a good idea. So in that case, I would just need to get rid of the resizing. I don't think I need these either. I'll leave them in, though, just because why not? All right, let's see what happens now. Well, actually, let's try and fix that. Yeah, that's definitely different. Okay, well, this is too big. Terrain size, I think, is not used anymore. Let me delete it and see what gets mad. Nothing gets mad. Okay. So this, let's make this like that. And that should build us a, yep, that'll build us a much smaller terrain. Although some of that shape is really weird. Although I guess it does match this preview image. Let's do that. Is it because it's seamless? Let's make it not seamless. It doesn't need to be seamless. There we go. That makes it look a little bit better. Everything should work off the image instead of that being changed on the fly. That's how you unite it with tiling, which is how it works in Unity and Unreal-based terrain. Oh, that I should also, just to see what it looks like, yeah, so now it's also using the height map as its, let's get rid of display. Ooh, yeah, I'd like to get rid of the collision display now. But yeah, right now it'll use the noise as its main texture. Which honestly I think looks really cool. I might even have that as part of what I'm building here, because it looks really neat. Oh, let's see. Can I make this? Sorry, I'm just trying something out here. That's kind of cool. that honestly looks pretty neat. It looks like a bunch of snow dirt. Yeah, it's kind of neat looking. I don't actually have a plan for what I'm gonna do with this once I once I finished it. Well, that does mean we could do something fun with the color ramp. Like go from like a deep blue up to, we can make it a fire blue. We can make a fire blue terrain. That's kind of fun. Fire blue is a little bit deeper, isn't it? Fire blue's like, that's kind of neat. Let's add a light. Yep. There we go. Funky looking terrain. I have no idea what else I'm going to do with this. Well, actually, no, I do, because I want to implement splat map for it. So I guess that's going to be the next step, is doing a splat map. Actually, let's try something goofy here first. Where's that being drawn? That oh, that would be on the collision shape. Let's disable that for right now. And also, there's the normal display. Why is it still displaying a wireframe? Oh well, anyway, just for fun, let's do something goofy with the lighting. Let's see. No, nothing? Oh, right, because there's no... Oh, it shouldn't... No, I shouldn't be doing it with the light. No, I should do it with the lighting. There's no lights, that's why it's not being called. Maybe we'll do that in... Let's disconnect that. And connect this. Why is that not doing anything? Is this not the terrain shader? It is not the terrain shader, that's why. There we go. So now it's, oh, right, normals are in view space. That's why it's changing. So we could do, let's hook the albedo back up. And why did it freak out? Oh, because I need to set the texture. There. There's that. That looks a lot better now. Incidentally. Do I have it flagged as unlit? I might. I do have it flagged as unshaded. Okay, let's see how this looks. Uh-oh. That's not good. I need to regenerate the terrain. Why did I fall through the terrain? Why am I falling through the terrain? Uh-oh. Am I starting spawned in the terrain? Doesn't look like it. No, I shouldn't be. Well, that's not good. Oh, because I disabled the collision shape. That's... derp. There we go. I think I liked it back better without the domain warp. Oh, what happens? What happens when I make the texel size bigger? I believe, yeah, that will just make the terrain bigger, which is fair. You can get height maps of the whole world using Tangramic. Interesting. So to make this a lower poly terrain, we'd have to have this be like, I don't know, a 32 by 32. And then make them like 5. Oh, we'd have to up the frequency to, like, yeah, we'll do that. Looks more like clouds than hills. Yeah. Yeah, so like this would be like lower poly. All right. Hey, it's 2:30. So that's where I've gotten to. Which isn't too bad actually. Here, let's make this a little bit less memes. Like, yeah, honestly, that's not too bad. I'm glad that I got, I mean, that's kind of the scariest parts out of the way for the most part. Which is generating the meshing and the collision. Yeah, so those are out of the way. Maybe I should make it even hillier. Or not. So the next things I wanted to try doing are splat map for painting textures on. And then I guess from there, it would just be answering the questions of usability in terms of like, well, what am I actually, gonna do with this? Do I want to make like an editing interface where I can like dynamically paint this? Yeah, I don't know. So next time I do this, I'll be working on splat maps, probably. I don't know if that will be next week or if we will do Dark Souls 2 next week. But yeah. Thanks everyone for coming and watching. I'm glad we actually got it working. It was a little touch and go there for a little bit, but yeah, thanks again for coming, and I'll see you guys all next time. Bye.